Hello again, everybody. I'm Snapper Lancaster. Welcome you back to another edition of the Central Alabama High School Sports Show. Well, it's that time of year again, fall, and that means football is in the air. And they've already been flying around here in the state for a couple of weeks for some teams, just 1 week for other teams, but already some surprises early in the season. First of all, in 7A, you got Mountain Brook winning their first 2 ball games off to a 2-0 start. This coming week, they'll play the Hoover Bucks, as Hoover went out to Allen, Texas this past week, played in a Tom Landry Classic out there and played a very good football team and come up a little bit short in their game. And so I'm sure they're going to come back home with a chip on their shoulder, and that may mean problems for a lot of the other teams here in the Birmingham area. Not only getting off to a fast start, it was Mountain Brook, and the other 7A team that's gotten off to a fast start is the Hewitt-Trussville Huskies. They've scored over 100 points in their first 2 ball games, and their offense seems to be clicking just the way I know Coach Floyd wanted it to, but he never dreamed it'd probably be to this degree. So it's going to be interesting. Of course, they'll be moving to the North region in 7A. We'll be playing the likes of Gadsden City and James Clements, Huntsville High, Grissom, teams of that ilk up in the northern part of the state. Right here in home in Class 6A, the Gardendale Rockets and the Clay Chalkville Cougars have both got off to 2-0 starts. Gardendale has been carried by their defense. It's gotten off to a fantastic start, but I know Coach Plunkett has high hopes for his team. Jerry Hood lost a lot of key players from last year's team, but they're just hitting on all cylinders as they get out of the gate. Also, we'll be recognizing a lot of volleyball coaches and track coaches. It's cross-country time. As a matter of fact, we'll be having a cross-country coach in our first segment of the show. Who is it? Well, you just have to stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, our first guest of the season. Don't you go away.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
And folks, welcome back. And as I promised you just a moment ago, we've got a unique situation. This is the first time I've ever had this happen. I've been doing this show 17 years, and I've never had a husband and wife combination up here. But as the old saying goes, coaches, there's a first time for everything. Right. And of course, I'm talking about Anita Dobbs, and of course, her husband, David Dobbs, longtime head track coach at Hewitt-Trussville. And let me tell you this, I've known him many years. He's one of the finest coaches, not only in the Birmingham area, but one of the finest track coaches here in the state. His program epitomizes that, and I'm always look forward to having him on the show. Now, sitting closest to me, all of us have bosses. Well, Coach Dobbs has a boss, and this is her, Anita Dobbs, and I will say, Coach, awfully nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
And good to have you on the program.
Thank you.
And I'm going to have some questions for you just in a second, and we'll talk about the situation, how well it does or doesn't work, but I can tell through time it must work pretty good. But Coach Dobbs, awfully good to see you.
Which Coach Dobbs you're talking to?
Well, when I give you a look, you know who it is. And first of all, good to see you again.
Snapper, thanks for having us back.
And secondly, I know your program, the reputation of it, you have high expectations from your athletes and your program. And of course, we're in the cross-country segment of it, and everybody that knows more than I do about it realizes in track, you have cross-country, indoor, and outdoor in the spring. So Coach, we're going to concentrate on our cross-country athletes today. And tell me, because I'm curious about this sometimes, but before we get to that, one other question I want to ask you. It has to do with the new regions y'all have gotten into. Because this, I'm sure, is bringing about some big changes.
It is.
And of course, y'all were in the region with Vestavia and Mountain Brook and Spain Park and us last year, but you've been moved to that Region 4,
Right.
which is up toward Gadsden City and the Huntsville area, where there are quite a few schools. Now, that all sounds well and good, and there's a lot of positives in that, but the biggest negative, and it's just glaring me in the face, and I want to have you talk about it just a second. How many meets will be taking place around here? Will you have to travel a lot?
Well, the great thing about cross country is that we're not having to match up head to head. There's none of that. There's a win-loss record. There's none of that. And so we run where we feel like we are going to do the best as a team. We run and race with who we think will make us better as a team. The only time I truly have to go north is up for the sectionals now. We've hosted sectionals for 15 years, and we lost that this year. And we're going to have to go up to Bob Jones' section. And so that's the only time that we really have to go north. Now, I'll face those teams in invitationals. We'll go to Jesse Owens October 1st. They'll all be there. And so that gives you sort of a measuring stick right there of where you're at. It gives you a sense of that. Me and the guys were talking about that on the way over here today, about the steps we've got to hit to get there. We've got some good competition up north with Grissom and James Clemens. But they named our region last year the Region of Death. And they named it that because the top 3 girls teams in our region went 1, 2, 3 at state. The top 3 boys teams went 2, 3, 4 at state. And it was tough. And we were, on both teams, we were the outside looking in last year. And it was the first time in, the almost 40 years I've been coaching that I haven't had a team go to state. And so it was a really good situation. It made us hungry, but then again, I had to apologize for the guys because as a coach, I didn't prepare them for that. And so I told them after that sectional meet, I said, enjoy the Sunday because Monday, the 2017 season, the 2016 season starts. And so that's what it's been. So we're going to go north. We're going to challenge them up there. And the top 3 things come out and they go to state. And we're hoping that we can go up there and qualify to there because the region here is still tough. We'll race these local guys a lot. We race 2 of them this coming Thursday. And so we won't avoid them at all.
Okay. Well, that sort of lets me know that it's not as far-fetched an idea because of where the meets are and everything, right? Well, then that brings us to our assistant coach. And first of all, Ms. Dobbs, if you would, how did you get into this? Did you start out a full-fledged coach, or did you just migrate slowly into it? Tell me about your background.
I've migrated into it slowly. I kind of got a lot of it by default. But there were no women's sports. I was pre-Title IX in high school. And so I had run a little bit in middle school, but didn't get the opportunity to run at all in high school. And so I've learned a lot from him in regards to what to do coaching-wise. We kind of complement each other because he does a lot of the coaching end of it. I do a lot of the logistics and organization and that. So from that standpoint, we kind of know what each other does, and so we just go from there.
Well, it seems like you've been mighty successful at it. Coach, time gets away quickly here. We're going to maybe run over a couple of minutes, which will be all right. But let me ask you this. What are you expecting out of this year's team?
Well, I think that they're very hungry. They became very hungry after last year. We had a very, very successful indoor and outdoor season. From the distance component, we graduated Benji Knox last year, who won the state indoor and outdoor 2 mile and the state outdoor 1 mile. And I think it fired these guys up. We had some guys that really stepped it up last year in knowing that they had to put it together on the track to come into the fall this year. We've put a lot of work in this summer, and our top 7 are as good as we've ever had. And so it's just now putting the loose ends together and refining it over the course of a season and convincing them exactly how fast they can go. I'm expecting great things from them. I truly think, in fact, our assistant coach today was telling me, he said, I don't see why you can't take it this year if you want it. And it's true. It's just strictly on them if they want it. And they're hungry enough to do it.
Well, very quickly, Ms. Dobbs, I want to ask you this question. You're talking about pre-Title IX when you got started and everything. The development of young women athletes where they are competing for those scholarships as well.
Yes.
They have really, through the years, the young female athlete has really progressed, haven't they, for lack of a better way to put it.
They have. The opportunities that they have now are fantastic. I wish there were some of those way back. And so I think that Title IX, I know there are some aspects that some people think aren't great to it, but I think from the standpoint of allowing women, young girls, athletes to progress and have that chance to run in college is wonderful. Just watching the Olympics too, to see so many women be so successful, it's great role models for them.
Well, I tell you what, once again, awfully good to see you guys. Tickled to death to meet you as a coach, but I also understand the logistic parts and how important that is to him. And Coach, we'll be keeping an eye on you because I got a feeling you didn't like missing those.
No, didn't like it at all.
And so I got a feeling this team is going to respond in such a way that you expect them to. Not hope they will, but expect it. Good luck to you. Right. And we'll keep an eye on you
Thank you, Snapper.
this fall.
Thank you.
Folks, we'll take a quick break. We come back, 5 young women that hope to do an awfully lot of running and good running in the cross country. We'll be right back.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Alan Gurdeau in Trussville today.
Land of Frost Premium is America's best-selling 1-pound deli pouch, now available in 12 delicious flavors, including new flavors of mesquite turkey and cotto salami. High school athletes across the country ask for Land of Frost by name. These great items are available at your local grocer, including Piggly Wiggly, Food Giant, Western supermarkets, and many more. Land of Frost also makes other varieties of lunch meats, including deli shaved bistro and sub sandwich kits. Land of Frost is a proud sponsor of youth sports as well.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
And folks, first off, if you see these young athletes up here, it happens to be 3 young ladies and 2 young gentlemen. And Snapper was so excited to see the girls, evidently, that I said 5 young ladies. And I did not mean to embarrass the young men here, and we're not going to do that. But I'm going to ask each one of you to tell me who you are and then what grade you're in, and then we'll start talking.
Okay. Olivia Bland, I'm in 12th grade.
Hannah Bryan, I'm in 12th grade.
I'm Emily McMahon, I'm in 12th grade.
I'm John Gatuda, 12th grade. Austin Atkinson, 12th grade.
Okay, so you see these are all seniors, so these means they're experienced athletes. Now, guys and girls, I'm going to tell you this, because you are seniors, that gentleman that sat here and the young lady sitting beside him, they expect a lot out of you. Now, here's the first question I got to ask you. Olivia, being a senior, what do you expect out of yourself this year and out of your team as a whole?
I expect us to go to state, and I expect us to qualify and win.
Let me ask you this, did it surprise you a little bit last year that y'all come up just a little bit short? I mean, you were very good, but you're used to winning trophies of some kind, right?
Yes, it was a little disappointing, but it just like pushes us to make us want it even more this year than last year.
Well, I tell you, Hannah, just echoing that a little bit further, one of the things that either makes a team better or worse is this thing we call team chemistry. If your teammates like each other, you push each other, you pick each other up when you're down, or if somebody gets a little bit out of hand, you police yourself, so to speak. Talk about the team chemistry for you and your teammates and what you think it is and what you hope it will be.
Well, most of the time before the season even starts, the girls all get together and we have a little party. So everyone knows each other, we know each other's names. And then once the season starts, since we already know everyone, it's like a big family. So we just run together. And then if someone's having a bad day, we pick each other up. We circle around, make sure the girls in the back are getting back up towards the front. So I'd say we have a pretty good team chemistry.
Emily, a question that I will ask you, what was it about cross country that turned you in and on to running?
When I first started running, I didn't really know what to expect. But the more I got into it, there's no limits. Like the more you push yourself, it just continues on, and you can always improve and keep pushing the more effort you put in. So it's like a continual challenge.
Well, that it is. Now, John, the first question I would ask you is track all you compete in, or you compete in other sports?
Yeah, track and cross country.
Oh, you don't compete in other sports?
No.
Okay. Now, cross country, what is it that you enjoy about it most, and what is it you don't like too much?
I think I like the workouts in cross country. Cross country courses, some of them I don't like them.
Okay. Austin, now being a senior, a lot is expected out of you. Do you relish that role knowing that not only your teammates but your coaches expect leadership and expect you to show that maturity that a senior should have?
Yes, because we're the voices of the team, kind of, besides the coaches. Like, they tell us what to do, and we kind of, rally the team behind it. Try to keep everyone on track and get the best out of them.
Okay, now Olivia, cross country, I know you run in different venues, different places. Do you have a particular course, and that's what I call them, a course that you enjoy running better than at other places?
I have to say I like the more flatter ones. Those are my favorite. But I just like challenging myself at all of the courses, so I don't have a particular favorite one though.
Okay. Now, Hannah, there's rivalries in every sport. So I got a feeling there's got to be rivalries in cross country as well. Now, there are team rivalries. Is there one team that when you see that y'all are going to be running against them that you look forward to? Who would that be?
Probably Mountain Brook.
Mountain Brook. I wonder why.
Yep.
Now, I know the reason there. Mountain Brook is known for being championship quality and caliber, right?
Yes.
And if you want to be the best you can be, if you beat them, you know you're going to be toward the top, correct?
Yep.
Well, Emily, let's carry that a little bit further. Now, that's the team concept of it. But through the years, and how long have you been running now?
This will be my 4th season.
Okay, so there's probably been certain athletes, and not forget the school where they're at, but certain athletes that you want to compete or want to beat worse than others. Is there somebody like that that spurs you on to be the best you can be?
Sometimes at the race you'll recognize faces, and even if it's someone you don't know, but you see her at the beginning of the race and you see she's a little ahead of you, that definitely will carry you through if you know there's someone to keep your eye on the race, maybe a little faster than you to pull you through.
Okay. Now, John, is there one course to run on that you like better than another? Flat, hilly, or what?
Yeah, flat.
Flat? You like that too? Well, it seems like to me, and Austin, I'll ask you this as well, you're not going to always get those flat courses. Now, what kind of challenge does those up and down courses present to you as an athlete?
Oh, well, definitely the hills they hit you a little bit more than flat, but you just gotta get up them as fast as possible and keep your eyes up, look for whoever's around you. Very difficult.
Now, this may be a dumb question, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. I know it's working getting up that hill. Do we coast a little bit coming down to catch our breath, or do we try to pick up more steam?
I try to kind of let the hill carry me down, so I don't really coast down it. I try to.
Right. Because if you try to go too fast down, you can easily fall. Yeah, we definitely don't want that happening, do we? All right, now, folks, all these are seniors, so now we're going to talk about their classroom, what has happened to them in the classroom, because I tell all you student athletes that you are student athletes. You don't qualify in that classroom. You don't make it to that flat course or the hilly course, right? All right, with that thought in mind, Olivia, you're fixing to be a senior. Do you know yet where you may go to college?
Probably UAB.
UAB, do you want to run, or are you going for the academics and pursue a career?
Academics.
Okay, well, what is it that, as the old saying goes, when you grow up, what would you like to do?
Well, I'm thinking about doing industrial distribution.
Really?
Yes.
What brought that about?
Well, my father does in the business world and
Okay.
stuff like that, and I don't know, something about that just has really like caught my attention, and it's very
Well,
intriguing.
great, good. Now, Hannah, senior as well. Do you know where you're going?
Not really. I've looked a little bit at Auburn and Mississippi State, so possibly.
Oh, okay. Do you know what you'd like to do one day?
Something in the science field, maybe doctor or engineer. I haven't really decided.
Okay, doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, something like that. Okay, well, you got plenty of time. Emily, how about you?
I'm not sure what school I want to go to yet, but I want to be in the medical field, some type of doctor. I'm not sure what.
Okay, well, we wish you all the luck in the world. John, how about you? Where do you think you might go to school?
I'm trying Wisconsin or ULM. Just want to be an accountant.
Okay, great. Austin?
I don't really have a school in particular right now, but something with a good like finance academy or something around that.
Yeah. All right. Now, does coaching or teaching appeal to any of y'all? Have you ever thought about that? But it's one of those things that could hit you later, right? Maybe something like that. I tell you what. Talking about the challenge of going into the different part of the state, is that something to look forward to, or do you feel like you're going to miss these all these kids and schools you've been competing against? And we'll start with you, Olivia.
I'm excited for the new faces to see, because you kind of get tired and stuck in your ways, and because if one person always beats you at every race, it kind of gets stuck in your head. So I definitely like the idea of new faces, beating new people, and trying to compete with them.
Yeah, you make a very good point. A very good point. How do you feel about that, Hannah?
I'm looking forward to it. This is my first season as a varsity runner, so I'm excited to
So
be
it's sort of
going.
wide open. You're ready
Yeah.
to take on all comers, right? Okay, well, being seniors, this is very important. I always enjoy asking this question because you're going to get varied answers. But to this point in y'all's young life, who's been the most inspirational person or persons? And we'll start with you, Olivia.
I would have to say Coach Dobbs. And not just because he's coaching me, but the lessons that he teaches us through running, and the patience and the learning from him, it helps you in the classroom as well, because you can't run unless you have the grades. So that kind of inspires me.
Well, good for you. Hannah?
For me, it's my mom. She's a really hard worker. She grew up all over the place because she was always moving. So I hope to one day be able to work as hard as her and be as successful as her.
Well, I hope you are, and I'm sure you will. Emily?
I'm kind of both ways. My mom has definitely a role model for me and shows me things I want to do. And I've also learned a lot of lessons from my coaches in cross country in different ways.
Okay, John, how about you?
It's my parents, because of how they live their lives, so they inspire me.
Well, I tell you what, your family's always there for you, aren't they? Good or bad, they don't care how much you win or lose, just as long as you're enjoying what you're doing. How about you, Austin?
I would say my sister, because she's the one that kind of got me into running, because she's been running longer than me. She's always motivated me to keep on going.
Well, good. Did she go to Hewitt as well?
Yes,
and
sir.
she was a runner?
Yes, sir. She still runs. We're twins.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, kids, it's been awfully good to see you. One, the season's just about to crank up, as Coach said. Are we ready? Are we ready for that first meet? Well, that's good. It's awfully nice to meet you. I wish you all the luck in the world. And we're going to have to come up with a few trophies this year, right? For this class to be remembered by. I wish you all the luck in the world. Y'all take care, and good to meet you. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We come back, our first football coach of the season. Don't you go away. We'll be right back.
Enjoy the summer even more with great savings from Sarah Mazda.
That's right. This is your summer to save. Get spectacular summer savings on a new Mazda. Save on new 2015 Mazda 3s, only $159 a month. Mazda 6s, only $179 a month. Or take the family on a summer trip in a Mazda CX-5 for $199 a month. And during Mazda's Summer Drive event, get a new Mazda and your first 2 payments are on us. Plus, all new Sarah Mazdas come with our lifetime warranty and Sarah Signature.
Get incredible summer savings at Sarah Mazda,
where we'll put you in the driver's seat.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
And folks, welcome back. As I promised in our segment before, first high school football coach of the season. I'm proud to have not only a good friend of mine, but an awfully good football coach with us, Keith Etheridge. And of course, in years past, we all associated Keith with all those championships at Leeds. And now there's another step taking place in his life, a new adventure, if you will, and you become a Pell City Panther.
Yes, sir.
Well, the first thing I would ask you, Coach, I generally ask kids this a lot, but not too often have to ask the coaches. What kind of transition has it been for you thus far?
It's been great. You know, the community's been fantastic. You know, the kids have been great. My family's adjusted real well, and you know, it's a great place to be. You know, there's a lot of great stuff. You're right there on the lake. You know, so it's we bought us a new house up there, so transition's been fantastic.
Well, that's terrific. Now, one thing, did you take some or all of your staff, or how does that work in high school? I know it's different in college.
Well, we don't have, I took 2 guys off my staff. There was there was a couple of volunteer guys that came with me also. Have David Hanna, who's the younger brother of John Hanna, who's coaching the offensive line, helping coach the offensive line. And I have Ryan Shell, who was my offensive coordinator. Brent Reese retired, and he took a job at Briarwood, and Dale Burnett retired. So, so Lee's got a full new staff now. So I wish them the best.
Well, and I'm sure you do, and they wish you as well. Going into this season, and I'll ask players this a lot too, but what are your expectations? Because there comes a growth period for both of you. The coaching and his staff and his players, you've got to bond, you've got to learn each other, and you haven't had a whole lot of time together.
Right.
You've had some, but it's not like being in your comfort zone, so to speak.
Right, my expectations stay the same. You know, I want to win a state championship. Every year my expectations go 15-0 and win a state championship. And if, we fall short, the expectations change from 14-1 to win a state championship, So we try to keep the expectations high. I expect a lot out of the kids, and, I think kids adjust and they do a good job of, I think this group of kids has done a great job of picking up what we're doing, and, and we've got we're not where we want to be yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah. Well, from that standpoint, let's talk about your team specifically. Talk about the offense, the defense, and the specialty teams.
We're big up front. We got some great guys who have worked tremendously hard. Hudson Hughes is playing quarterback for us. He's doing a great job. He's a senior kid who's played since he was a sophomore. We have guys up front. We got, and I'm sure you'll talk to them later. Got some big guys up front that do a fantastic job. Kent Foster's been a 4-year starter there. Tyler Estelle's on the defensive front. He's been a 4-year starter there. So everybody's doing a great job. These kids have really picked up on what we're doing, and they're working real hard, and I believe we're going to have a great season.
Well, now I know coaches are no different than athletes. There's familiarity, especially when you've been at one school many years. Yes, there's familiarity with your opponents and what to expect. Now, how much do you know, and correct me if I'm wrong, and it wouldn't be the first time if I am, and I hate to have to do this, but age dictates that I do. Southside, Gadsden,
Yes, sir.
Brewer, Coleman, Albertville, Oxford, and Fort Payne.
Yes, sir.
Do you know very much about any of these or any of the coaches? Are you familiar?
Not a whole lot. A lot of guys that I've coached against in the past have moved up the ranks, and some of them are coaching at some of these schools. So Lee Osment, he's one of the coaches over at Oxford. Actually, Coach Matt Hicks, who coached with me at Leeds last year, who was the wrestling coach and also my D-line coach, he's at Oxford now. So I have some familiarity with some of the guys that are coaching some of the other places, but never played against any of these teams. So it's something new for me also.
Well, here's the thing too, that the same challenge awaits them that awaits
Absolutely.
you. And so from that standpoint, there's no advantage.
Right.
It's just you go out and it's all about, this is a crazy way to put it, execution. And
Absolutely.
Having said that, and I don't mean to be premature, coaches have a feeling about this when they've been around the kids a while. Do you think that you have a team that's going to be playoff worthy at the end of the season?
I absolutely do. I absolutely do. That's our expectations. We want to try to win the region. We want to try to get in the playoffs. We want to try to, get that first round game at home, and just let the chips fall where they may. Just like my first year at Leeds, we ended up going 6-4 and having to travel for the first playoff game. Won a big game. Got the next game at home. Won another game. We're in the quarterfinals. So we expect to do the same thing here.
Well, let's get away from the actual school and the kids for a second, because this is very important for you and your program. Talk about the community, how they have accepted you, what they expect out of you, and what you expect out of them.
Well, like I said, they've embraced me since I've been there. The community has been great. Great leadership at Pell City school system. Dr. Barber's a fantastic leader, our superintendent. Dr. Dowdy's a great guy, good Christian guy, him and Dr. Barber. Great Christian men, that lead our school system, lead our high school. So, and the leadership there is probably second to none. They've been fantastic. They support our program. They support all the sports programs at Pell City. And, it's just a great place to be right now.
Now, let me ask you this, and I know our time gets away, and it really does when you're having a good time. Talk about your players. Do you have any kids that you think, and without putting anybody on the spot, that you expect more out of, say, these are the people we're going to look to lead this football team?
Absolutely. We some of the guys here, the guys that are here today, you'll meet I'm sure they're going to meet all these guys, but along with these guys that we have here today, you got Kinsman Trammell, you have Austin Carlton, you have Iman Robinson, a lot of guys who are expected to be leaders on this team. We have some great seniors, Cole, we have some great kid who plays safety for us. We have some great leaders on this team, and I expect them to step up and lead, and that's what it's all about: teaching the young kids how to act and how to present themselves and how to compete, and then it sort of travels down to the youth leagues and things like that. So. We want to compete for championships.
Well, I will say this, because I'll be talking to the young athletes about it in a few minutes. Sometimes it's a boost for them when there's a coaching change and someone with the reputation that you have, and you've earned it because of what you and your other teams have accomplished. Yes, and that gives them new hope.
Absolutely.
And I don't mean to overemphasize that at all, because you've been in business a long time, but it works for the kids as well as it does for the coaches sometimes.
Absolutely.
And of course, Keith, it's always good to see you. I don't expect anything else personally out of this bunch except to make the playoffs somewhere. And the old saying goes, that first year you just want on the dance floor. You don't care if it's number 1 or number 4, as long as you get there. Wish you all the luck in the world.
Thanks, Snap.
Awfully good to see you.
Great to be
and
here.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll visit 5 of the young athletes that are going to be the bell cows for Panthers, right? Panther football this year. We'll be right back.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
Land of Frost Premium is America's best-selling 1-pound deli pouch, now available in 12 delicious flavors, including new flavors of mesquite turkey and cotto salami. High school athletes across the country ask for Land of Frost by name. These great items are available at your local grocer, including Piggly Wiggly, Food Giant, Western supermarkets, and many more. Land of Frost also makes other varieties of lunch meats, including deli shaved bistro and sub sandwich kits. Land of Frost is a proud sponsor of youth sports as well. And folks, as you can see, I have got some stripping athletes up here that look like they're about ready to quit hitting each other, and they've gotten one game under their belt. Probably like the outcome of it, didn't you guys? Yes, but before we get started, let's introduce all these youngsters. Logan Tucker, senior. Logan, you're a wide receiver,
yes,
right?
Sir.
And then Hunter Crichton, senior fullback linebacker.
Yes, sir.
Kent Foster, and Kent, you are a senior offensive line, yes, right? Tyler Estelle, a senior as well, defensive lineman. And I'd hate to run into you, Brother Estelle, but good to see you. And Austin Stevens, senior, a wide receiver, safety. Okay, guys, the number one question, and it sort of makes sense, and I want to get each of your perspective on it. And we'll start with you, Logan. Talk about the transition from old coach to new coach and a new year.
Well, when I heard the news that we were getting a new coach, I was scared at first because, I mean, you've been with one coach for so long, and you just don't know what's going to come in, new plays, new everything really. And but I don't think our school could have went any different, better route than what they got. I mean, we've got one of the best coaches in the state.
Well, I'm sure that other teammates feel that way, and they got a reason to. Hunter, how about you?
Well, I was nervous. I was definitely nervous, but just as soon as he got here, everything just started to flow. Just nice flow with everything. The offense started picking up, and he's just made great leaders out of all of us. So that's definitely a big change. We've got a lot of leaders stepping up to the game, and I think we're gonna have an awesome season.
Well, I imagine if he has anything to do with it, and y'all have anything to do with it, and
Yes,
y'all
sir.
get on that same page, that's probably
sir.
going to happen. Kent, how about you? What's the move from one coach to another transition? How's it been for you?
Yes, sir. I was nervous too, but I was also excited, especially once I heard that Coach Etheridge was coming, because I knew how good a coach he was, and his winning record, and I was just ready to try to pass that along over here in Pell City. And
Well, now, how long have you played football over there?
Ever since I was 10.
Okay, let me ask you this, because I didn't know this. I should have looked this up, but I didn't. What kind of record did y'all have last year?
We were 4-7.
So this year, under 500, this year, I guess you have more expectations with not only the fact it being your senior season, you don't want to go out that way, and then with a new coach, everything seems to be positive right now, right?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Great. Tyler, how about you? What's the transition been like for you?
It was pretty good. We learned how to become better leaders, work harder. I think we learned a lot when Coach Etheridge came. A lot of people stopped doing what they were doing. Got better at being a better person, period.
Good. And Austin, what's that transition been like for you? Were you excited about it, especially when you found out who the coach was going to be?
Oh, yes, sir. Just like Logan said, we were very excited when Coach Etheridge was picked. And, I mean, nothing's really changed on defense or anything, but we got a whole new offense, but it's for the better.
Well, it's all about execution, getting that execution this coach wants. Well, one thing that I always like to ask young athletes about is, now, Logan, you're a wide receiver, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, is there a college player or a professional football player, because I know you get different answers, and I can't wait to hear some of these, that you would pattern your game after? Who would it be?
I would say Julian Edelman. he catches a lot of passes, and he runs good routes. I mean, that's the main thing. If you're playing receiver, you've got to run good routes. If you don't get separation and get open,
Right.
you're not going to catch any balls.
Right. Well, that's a good answer. Hunter, who do you?
I think I'd have to say Luke Kuechly for the Panthers, linebacker.
Yeah.
I love his excitement on and off the field. You know, he's an awesome leader. He's always got the attitudes right on the team.
Well, now this is very interesting because you're a two-way player, right?
Yes,
Fullback,
sir.
linebacker.
Yes,
Which
sir.
one do you like the most? Do you like hitting or do you like being hit?
Well, I mean, really, a fullback and a linebacker, it's pretty much the same position, you know, because I'm hitting somebody every play on both of them. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd probably have to say fullback just because I like the feeling of scoring a touchdown, putting points on the board, and just, you know, being a block to, you know, spring a big run or something.
Hey, I hope you enjoy that feeling a lot this year,
Yes,
just
sir.
not next week. Now, there's a joke to that. Do y'all understand who y'all are playing, Gardendale? I have a grandson, and I don't know if Coach told you this. My grandson plays there, so I hope y'all have a great game and that you just lose by one, okay? But I know you're out to win it, and we expect a great ball game. Ken, how about you? Who do you see in the pros or college that you want to be like?
Mine's Chance Womack. He played at Alabama, and I loved watching him play. One, because he was a nasty offensive lineman, and that's how I like to play. And also, I think I liked how he expressed himself on the field. You know, he always had his jersey pulled over his belly and had his belly sticking out. And I thought that was
Well, now,
pretty
let me tell you something. Nobody said you had to be a preacher out there, did they?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tyler, how about you, bud?
I say Vince Wilfork. I'm
Really?
a big guy, and he plays my position.
Oh, yeah.
I just feel like I do a little bit better.
When if you can play your position about this well, according to what he does, you play your position, you're going to be good.
Yes, sir.
And I got a feeling there ain't nobody going to be slapping you around, okay? Or if there is, Coach going to come on and have you over there, why is this happening? And he may not say it quite so nice, okay? Austin, how about you?
I think Gronkowski.
Really?
Yes, sir. I mean, I just like how physical he is, and me being a two-way player, you got to be physical.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I guess the main thing you guys want is to be the best you can be. And it's like I talk to coaches about this all the time. If you're that's all the coach wants is you give you your best and he'll never be disappointed in you. Anything less, he has a right to be disappointed, right?
Yes, sir.
All you guys are seniors.
Yes, sir.
Logan, where are you going to go to school? What do you hope to be one day?
I'm really undecided, but I think I'm going to go to Huntington to play college soccer.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, let me tell you, undecided is a very popular choice these days. You know, a lot of
Yes, sir.
times we don't really know. Hunter, how about you?
I'm pretty much undecided as well.
You are?
I really want to go play football at the next level, so I'm just kind of letting that unfold, see where I can go play.
Undecided university, great place. But you will decide before long, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
Kent, how about you?
Yes, sir. I'm undecided. I just know I want to play football at the next level, and I hope I get the opportunity to play at the highest level I can.
Yeah, well, I do too. Tyler, how about you?
I'm undecided as well. I'm
You are?
just being humble and hungry.
Well, hey, you stay humble and hungry and mean and lean. You don't have to be lean, you just be mean. They'll be glad to see you somewhere. Austin, how about you?
I don't really know yet, actually. Just waiting on some offers.
Yeah.
Baseball or football.
Well, that's good, and we hope those offers roll in for all of you, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, having said that, none of you guys, you ever thought about maybe coaching one day? You played all your life. If you can't make it as a player, an NFL player, super college guy, a lot of the best coaches never played a down. Am I not right, Coach? And so, I mean, have any of you ever thought about that, or any of you have any plans as to what you'd really like to do already, maybe one day down the road? Do you have any idea?
You hit it right on the point. I want to go to school. I want to be a teacher and a coach.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good. I'll tell you what, guys, time gets away from us. I always like to ask this question, because you get different answers from each and every one of you fellas. And we'll start with you, Logan. To this point in your young life, who's been the most inspirational person or persons?
It has to be my mom and dad. You know, they've raised me and taught me what to do and what not to do. And without them, you know, I have no idea what I'd be.
Great. How about you, Hunter?
I'd have to say probably my mom and dad as well. My dad's always, you know, kept me an hour after practice from when I was 5 till, you know, going into high school just to make sure I got extra reps, extra catches, and just make sure that I grow up to be the athlete that I am. So, and I'm thankful for all their support.
Well, good for you. Kent?
Mine's my mom and dad as well. They've been really influential in my life, and they've taught me a lot of lessons, and they've prepared me for my life to come, and can't thank them enough for that.
Good for you. Tyler?
Yeah, it's got to be my mom. She's always never gave up on me. Always broke her back for me, so I just got to give her everything back she gave me.
Well, good for you. Austin?
I think my granddad, he's a Vietnam vet, and he'll give you the shirt off your back.
Well, good. Let me tell you something, guys. Awfully nice to meet you. You look like a great bunch of guys. You got a great coach to work for. Not that the other one wasn't, but I guarantee you, you get everything that you got to him, you'll be rewarded in the end, and it's going to come in the form of W's, okay? So
Yes, sir.
good luck
Yes,
to
sir.
you, and all of you being seniors, good luck after you leave high school, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And folks, we've had another great show, great coaches, great guests. You know what the Snapper always says, same time, same place. Till then, bicycle.